How's it going, guys? First live stream of 2024. So, happy New Year to everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Just make sure we're all getting set up here. Yeah, so as the title suggests, we have new snow in Revelstoke finally, which, yeah, is a big relief. The most recent vloggers, I guess you've seen, we didn't have the greatest conditions during the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day period. So for us to get some snow now is really welcome. And so I just wanted to jump on tonight, give you guys a bit of an update. I did get a couple of runs in my lunch break today at work, and then I'll be heading out over the next couple of days. And from what I could see, it was still snowing outside. Still snowing when it went dark there, so there's going to be some fresh snow to top up everything that we've already had today. Once again, the figures that I'm going off, I base it off what we see on the resort website, and I know there's a little bit of a glitch there where it in the morning is accurate, but then I think overnight there's something going on. So the base depth I know right now is sitting around about 130 centimeters. That's what it was reading up on the mountain on my runs today. So we've had roughly around 10, 15 to 20 centimeters in the last 48 hours, which has been a welcome addition. And I got to say, the conditions were massive improvement right at the top of the mountain. We had soft, dry snow. There was a lot less debris and bits to see around the mountain there, and you could, in some areas, you could quite comfortably ride over the top without fear of hitting anything. That said, there is still quite a bit of sort of trees and bits sticking out in some of the glades areas and the bowls to be aware of. That will obviously improve with more snow. The forecast is for that to improve, for that to continue, sorry, and I will get into the specifics shortly, because there's quite a lot that's supposedly meant to happen between now and actually next week on Saturday. There looks to be a lot. So if you're planning to come to Revelstoke over the next few days and into next week, you want to stay tuned for this one. If you are watching this live, welcome everyone. Make sure to put your comments in the live chat below. Any questions, of course, I'll get to them, and yeah, look forward to reading them out. So in terms of what it's actually like on the mountain right now, temperature wise, sub peak is at -11, and we've got -7 over in the Ripper. So that's your typical average sort of weather for Revelstoke on the Alpine, which is good. That's what we want. We've got a northerly wind at the moment, which is good as well. Keeping everything cold up there. Snow looks to be tapering off tonight. From what I can see on the webcam right now, Norm, he's already been cleared once today, and he's already got at least another 3 or 4 or 5 centimeters as things are going dark. So it should be a top up when we wake up tomorrow at the resort. Like I said, looks like it's kind of petering out a little bit tonight. Tomorrow, the forecast is for sunny with cloudy periods. So I think we might actually have one of those inversions tomorrow with hopefully sunny weather on top, which would be awesome after a day of snow. Heading into the week, Monday and Tuesday looks really exciting. I think in the afternoon Monday, it's going to be starting to snow again, and they're forecasting up to potentially 20 centimeters on Tuesday. That's huge. That's really huge. And when we get into Monday, Tuesday, we're going back to that southwest ridge wind. So that'll be snow that will be blowing into sort of North Bowl and Separate Reality, and keeping those in pretty good condition. The Alpine temperature, again, it's sort of hovering between minus 13, 14, down to sort of -8 or 7 there. So it looks like the sort of sharp rises in temperatures has has gone. So no more of this sort of really high freezing level, which was really playing havoc. It's has joined. Hey, it's thanks for making the live stream. Looks like my forecast was roughly right. Looks like sick conditions. 26 centimeters should help lots. Yeah, it's really looking good. It's you know, the bottom section of the mountain still needs a lot more. I actually did see, I think they managed to get the final section of the last spike going through the tunnel. I think they finally managed to open that up, so it looked like people could actually ride down to the very bottom, but only via the last spike today. I'll check that out for certain tomorrow just to make sure that is the case, but the rest of the lower part of the mountain is still a no-go. But yeah, top half it was much more improved. Some really good soft sections, but it is still a little bit like tracked out in places just because everybody is pushed up to the top section of that mountain right now. Fingers crossed for more by next weekend. Yeah, so again, big snowfall looking like it's going to come on Monday and Tuesday. Now, I don't know what your forecasts are saying, but the one thing I wanted to point out is that from Wednesday onwards, it is looking like it is going to get very, very cold. Potentially for another 4 to 5 centimeters on Wednesday. So again, another little top up. Freezing level, it's all at the bottom now, which is great. But I'm seeing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which I think is when you said you were coming, mate. Alpine temperatures, lows of minus 23, 24, 25, 26, with a high of minus 17. Friday being really cold, like the highest it's going to get is minus 24. So if you are coming next week, there should be some fresh snow. It's going to stay cool, but maybe bring an extra layer, mate. And this happens every year. We've actually been a couple of us, been talking about it the last couple of weeks here in Revy, saying like, when is this shot spell going to come? Because it always happens 3-4 days a year at Revelstoke. And then afterwards, we normally get some good snow. So yeah. And the good thing is that it'll keep everything we've got there and it'll keep it solid. I think we've got some more comments here. Let's have a look. Hey, Joe's joined. Just woke up to go to the toilet and saw you live. Hope all is well, man. I'm good, mate. How are things in Les Arcs? I saw you got there. What's the conditions like in France? Everything I've seen from Europe looks like it's had a pretty good start to the winter. I won't be too long as I need sleep and I have a snowboard lesson with ESF. Yeah, I'm sure it's it's like 4 or 5 in the morning right now in France. It's really, really cold. I'll be there next Sunday. Okay, yeah. So, well, if you're there, hopefully maybe by the time you come, things start to taper off a little bit. Maybe you might have just missed that sharp spell, but I'll keep you guys posted. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Seems like the pattern is finally changing away from this warm, dry pattern into cold and stormy. Yeah, it seems that way. And again, I'm still kind of waiting with bated breath because it's been kind of snowing all day downtown as well, but it's been quite wet downtown. And for me, it's like until you actually see a good amount of snow all the way down, like I'm always kind of still looking at things with a pinch of salt right now, just because there's such a large amount of skiing that you can do below the gondola, but there's barely any of it that's been touched yet. So yeah, everybody, like I say, is sort of pushed up to the top there. And everyone's been enjoying some good riding, making the most of it. But yeah, if people spread out a little bit, I think the snow will stay stored a little bit more. Monday and Tuesday, you will definitely see snow in the town. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I mean, and the good thing is, I mean, this is the last weekend of the holidays, I think. So, you know, things should be a bit quieter as well. Everybody's going back to school next week. So back to school, back to work. Freedom Rider, thanks for joining, buddy. Always good to have you on. On my way to Fernie right now. Snowed all the way across northern Ontario today. Fernie got a good dump today. A lot more forecast, then getting very cold. Yeah, it's good. It seems like everywhere has been getting a good bit of snow this weekend. And yeah, and then just that classic cold. And when it gets this cold, it happens. It's like across the entire province. All of BC gets this super sharp cold for like 3-4 days, and then yeah, it becomes quite stormy, as it said. So that's good. Have they got everything open at Fernie, Freedom Rider, or is they're still trying to open things up? I'll be honest, I mean, since sort of the Christmas New Year period, I've not really checked up on some of the other resorts as much to find out how they're doing. Yeah, finally just starting to come out of the 10 days of partying and working and socializing and all of that. So yeah, time to get some skiing in this weekend. I plan a big weekend of skiing. Testing out the new camera, the Insta360. Took that for a few runs today, which was super fun. So it says most weather models are now saying the storm is stronger than originally projected. Things are actually becoming uncertain as to what could happen, but at the minimum, it will be big. Dude, don't give me false hope. Like, you're getting me very, very excited. But again, like, if you take out what happened at Christmas the previous winter, it's following a very similar pattern, right? Like wet and warm at the start of the season with actually not a lot of like snow, but then sort of then the second half of the winter, if you want to call it, things became a little bit more stormy and active on the snow front. I got family who've just been visiting my cousin in Switzerland, and they've had non-stop snow for the last couple of days. It sounded like it's been excellent there. Freedom Rider, mostly open at Fernie. Trees, of course, aren't great, but top to bottom is open. Oh, that's good. And then, yeah, this new snow should obviously be a nice top-up for you. I mean, the one good thing as well about the sharp cold that's coming is that anywhere that does have snowmaking, it's probably just going to hit the on button on the machine and leave it running for 3-4 days, and then that can work on hopefully improving the necessary areas that give access to, say, the lower mountain runs, so they can open skiing in some form top to bottom, and start building up a base. Zach from Zach's Plumbing, flying in from Australia on Tuesday. I guess the snow gods are looking after me. Zach, thanks for commenting. I think, if I'm right, you might be a first timer on here. Yeah, no, just in time. But wrap up warm. It's going to be a cold couple of days next week, but you're going to have some fresh snow. So if you get here on Tuesday, that's going to be right after the big storm apparently that's coming in on Monday night, Tuesday. And yeah, hopefully the travel goes okay getting up here. Zach, where are you flying into? Are you flying into Kelowna, or are you just coming from one of the big airports? I'm guessing somewhere in the region of 25 to 40 centimeters between now and Thursday, based on an average of what the weather models are saying. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I want to get out. I'll be definitely getting out tomorrow. We're doing a bit of a do a bit of a vertical challenge tomorrow, see how much vertical we can get in one day. So big vlog on that. We'll be doing a couple of product reviews on Monday, but try and squeeze in some lunchtime laps when I get back to work on Tuesday. So yeah, I want to capture that powder for sure. Zach, yes, flying into Kelowna, awesome. So yeah, I mean, shouldn't be as much disruption as if you were just flying into Calgary, but yeah, mind how you go coming up there, depending on what the roads are like. If that hits good, it should be enough to possibly get some lower mountain open. I hope so. The only issue is that, like, I mean, it's rained so much at lower elevations throughout the last 3 to 4 weeks. So any snow that we had prior that was starting to build up a base lower down just was either washing away or it was thawing away, because we've not had consistently cold temperatures at the bottom. So yes, you can ski now from top to bottom via the lower mountain, via the last spike. Everything else right now is at your own risk. And there's like, there's shoots that are still 1-2 meters high from trees. So, I mean, yeah, it's a case of watching out. I mean, you can do it, but I think really those lower mountains still, I'm hoping, like you say, if we get this 25-30 centimeters, that if that does fall at lower elevations, that will make a difference. They'll probably try and work to get 1 or 2 of the blue intermediate groomers open on those lower sections, which they can probably do. Some of the steeper ones, not so much. Freedom Rider joined late. Are North and Greeley skiing any better? Since my New Year's Eve vlog, I've not been in. Like I said, only got a couple of laps in at lunchtime today. I did Tally-Ho Glades, Clyde Secret, or it was Still Life Glades. I think it might have been Still Life, and then I did one in Separate Reality around the far side there, and that was pretty good. I would suspect that North Bowl is good. They were blasting in there this morning, North Bowl and Greeley. The Ripper chair was a delayed opening, so that's a good sign for you. But I will be going in there over the weekend. But yeah, watch my vlog, because that gives you a good idea of what Greeley is like right now, and the run out. More so the run out. The run out was not great. Like, everything going into that creek was quite scary, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you could still see the riverbed in that little creek, which normally you can't. Normally it's just completely covered over in packed snow. And the what's it called, Big Woody, the cat track at the bottom of Greeley, not been groomed yet. I mean, that might have changed now with all this snow, but up until New Year's Eve, that cat track was still ungroomed. So you were literally riding, bumping, knees just were taking an absolute battering from that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there was a lot of the features that I saw in Greeley from actually around the Christmas week that just didn't fill me with a lot of confidence going in there. Just the way the terrain looked, especially with you. I mean, like, when it gets to a certain point, you don't see the rock features, right? And although there was, a meter of snow on it, I could still make out quite clearly that's a rock, So that plays on your mind when you're going in there. Didn't get that in North Bowl, but when I was there at that New Year's ski, the visibility was terrible. Anyone who was skiing, I think, anywhere in BC around New Year will tell you that we had like this super warm weather again, cloud laying across the entire upper mountain, and like just wet, sleety rain. So it was kind of hard to gauge how things were. But yeah, come back to me on that one probably early next week on another video or a post, and I can tell you for definite how things are on that. Yeah, hopefully if it does clear up tomorrow, which it's saying it will, that should make some really good conditions for filming and give you guys good visibility. I just want to be able to have some soft trees and bowls when I get there. Yeah, I think that's what we all want. It's looking like that. It's looking like that the way it's heading. It's just a gradual improvement this time. But what's good about the last day or two, plus going into next week, is that we're now getting larger snowfalls. We're not getting like 4 centimeters here, 2 centimeters there, because that just doesn't make a difference. So we're now getting bigger snowfalls with consistently colder temperatures. Yeah, and that's going to make everything a lot better. Yeah, Zach's coming into Kelowna. With the super cold temps, they can probably make that snow too. Yeah, exactly. Revelstoke doesn't have a large amount of snow making, but they'll probably be using that on the lower sections just to keep to make sure all of that is open for the little magic carpet and at the mid station, and then just that ride down right to the base of the resort. Zach, it's your 4th time at Revelstoke and absolutely love the place. That's awesome to hear, mate. Yeah, we get quite a few people from Australia here. I love that. It's a good vibe. I'm curious to know how Aussies came across Revi, or at least came across Canada. I've said this before, that like, as a Brit, you do have at first you do have a little bit of a narrow mind, right? Because a lot of the Brits used to live and work in all the sort of main ski jobs primarily in Europe, and you think that, okay, it's the Brits that are the most traveled. And then once you go outside of Europe, when you went to, I found this when I went to Japan, and now here is that actually probably it's the Aussies that are more the ones that like to travel more and go to all these places, and it's great. You know, they're a real cool, good. Love the Aussies. It's funny enough, my flight might get cancelled over an Ontario snowstorm, not even in the mountains. I'm flying into Calgary and driving through. Oh, watch yourself over Rogers Pass. That could be a tricky one. Yeah, I mean, if you could get a connection to Kelowna, I would try it, but yeah, mind how you go. I don't know if you've seen it actually. Just literally late this evening. Don't want to be sort of a a doomsbringer here and bring any bad news, but I just saw a news piece that there's a helicopter that's actually missing in the Glacier National Park, about 18 kilometers away from Revelstoke, and it's set off from Calgary to Sicamous yesterday and never made it. And they've been trying to find it. I mean, it's presumed crashed. But yeah, Kevin, long time no speak, mate. Thanks for joining. I did see your comment earlier. I haven't got around to replying to it yet, but saw video with your new toy. Great clarity, very nice. Thanks. Yeah, I'm still coming to grips with it. I mean, it's going to take a while for me to get used to editing it all. I took it out for a couple of runs today on the stick. And the Insta360 stick is really interesting because it's invisible. So you hold it out, and then in the footage, you just kind of see like the stencil of a hand, and then you just see the space, but it shows so much. So yeah, I was kind of working on clipping a couple of the shorts for YouTube Shorts over the next couple of days, and yeah, obviously we'll fit that into a big vlog for tomorrow. So thanks. I'm glad feedback so far on that seems to be good. I'll have to learn to kind of balance it with the GoPro 10, because that's still going to be good for things like pieces to camera, and also, don't want to kind of overuse, or don't over sort of input I want a balance, basically. I want a content balance. It's 4-wheel drive and snow tires. Hopefully will get me through. Yeah, but just mind how you go. Definitely take care. Zach, I love skiing less known places. Yeah, it's especially the smaller areas, eh? Zach, are you just visiting Revelstoke, or are you traveling to other ski areas as well? Seems like a lot of people who come over here from Australia like to do a bit of a tour and maybe go to Kicking Horse or Banff, Lake Louise, that type of area. Just Revelstoke. Nice. Stephen, thanks for joining. Do you think they will shut down the lifts at Revi during the cold snap? I was thinking of coming for next weekend, but I don't want to make the drive, obviously, if lifts aren't turning. Okay. It depends on how cold it gets, Stephen. The main thing that gets taken into consideration with that is safety to visitors to the staff as well. So yeah, I mean, there comes a point, right, where it doesn't become safe to ski in that. And there's no way. It doesn't matter how many hand warmers you take. You're not getting warm in minus 25 or minus 30. I know the people who live in sort of Alberta will say that's just like a normal day skiing for them, but it's not out here. And we don't have, we have a couple of warming huts on the mountain, but yeah, I mean, I would say anything lower than minus 25, and then if you factor in a wind chill, if it gets between sort of minus 30, minus 35, I certainly am not skiing in that. I don't know about you, Stephen. I don't know. It can happen. We there was a couple of times 2 summers ago where it got too hot, and again, that's the thing. Like it's about safety. So you'll have to see how it goes the next couple of days. It could happen. It depends how cold it gets. But the following weekend, it looks like it might starting to be warmed up. Hey, Brad's on. What up? I'm good, mate. Here you were telling me earlier, Brad, you might be going to one of your local hills this weekend. I can't remember what was the local hill you were going to. Smash that like, everybody. That's it. Thanks, Brad. Have you skied Panorama? Large vertical, great groomers, but on the dry side of the Rockies like Kicking Horse. So not as much snow. Overall, a great mountain with a good lift layout. I've not, but there's, again, like Panorama and also Kimberley, I'd say, are two I'd like to explore. I've heard good things about them. It's just the issue of distance and the time for me with what I do for work. If I had that more flexibility, I'd love to do a lot of those, because I'm curious to hear from anyone who's kind of been in BC a long, long time. But when you drive up different parts of the highway, you see these signs called the Powder Highway. And I think from what I understand, this used to be maybe like a little bit of a local marketing campaign with the various regional tourist districts or the district tourist offices. And it was all about sort of getting people within that sort of highway rim around the Rockies and around the Selkirk Mountains, and getting people to do all these resorts from sort of Revelstoke to Kicking Horse, and then going all the way down Panorama, Kimberley, Whitewater, Castlegar, and that whole circle around there. That to me sounds like a really fun trip if I had the time for it. Thumbs up. Yeah, Stephen. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. But I think, the way things are going, you might, if you're coming, say, Saturday, Sunday, you might have got past the worst of it. But check in with me during the week, and I will give you an update on how cold it is. Maybe I'll go live earlier in the week, say like a Thursday or a Friday if I can, and let you guys know. Panorama is on the Icon Pass, so should be compatible with Revi passes. Yeah, I know there's definitely a couple of reciprocals involved there. That does sound about right. I think if it's just season passes here, I think we might get. I think if you're just a season pass holder at Panorama, it's 25% off the window. A little bit more if you're within the staff. So yeah. I'd love to hear from anyone who's based out towards Whitewater or Red, because I know they've struggled even more than anywhere else, it sounds like, at the start. So, and it sounded like one of those resorts didn't open up until like the 3rd week in December. So yeah, I would love to hear from somebody from those resorts just to know how they're getting on. Seems like Big White's been getting some snow, from what I hear in the grapevine. Not sure about Silver Star or Sun Peaks, though. I'm just going to close that window, guys. Hang on. It's getting a little chilly. I follow red closely as I love it. Not a great start to the season, and still lots of unopened terrain and very thin coverage. Eesh, that does not sound good. Let me pull up the website. Let's see what the snow report is saying at red. Okay, well, tonight it looks like it's got minus temperatures all the way down to the base, which is a good sign. But yeah, current alpine snow depth of 74 centimeters. They've had about 10 centimeters over the last 24 hours, which is good. So they're getting some right now, and then upcoming forecast for them looks like they're getting snow like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then yeah, even over that far down the river is getting very, very cold. But looks like they could be getting anywhere between 5, 6, 13, maybe 25 centimeters for them between now and Tuesday. So that'll be a welcome arrival for them. And yeah, the webcams there looks good. Looks like it's snowing up there right now. Okay, so that's good. Good for red. I would assume it's very similar to Whitewater. Yeah, very similar. Especially that Tuesday. That Tuesday is going to be the big one. So Stephen is saying Lake Louise was actually pretty decent on Christmas Eve, but I don't think they've had more than a few centimeters since then. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think many have had other places, but it's weird. I don't know. I've not heard bad things coming out of that side of the Rockies yet this year. I mean, I know the Alberta resorts had a real bad year last year. I mean, a lot of us did, but Revy was okay last year. But it seems like Lake Louise, Sunshine, they've gotten by okay, so far this year. So props to them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Kicking Horse is doing. Like Kicking Horse would be beside. I mean, Silver Star is the nearest in one direction, but Kicking Horse is closer to me actually than Red or Whitewater. So do I, if I am going to take a trip at some time, do I take it there? I banked a couple of days, but I'm trying to. Not Marmot Basin though; they're really hurting. Yes, there seems to be quite a few. I've heard a few people from Marmot coming over this way on the Mountain Collective agreement. Because if you're a season pass holder on the Mountain Collective, if you're a season pass holder from a Mountain Collective resort, you get 50% off the winter lift tickets at the window at any of those same resorts. So that's a really good benefit. So that's different from having the Mountain Collective card. But yeah, Marmot Basin, never been there. I don't even know what Marmot's like. Stephen, have you been there? What's it like as a resort? Are jalapeno, hot sauce, and Tally-Ho Glades tongue twister that is Tally-Ho Glades skiing well? Yes, I did Tally-Ho today. I got a couple of laps in at lunch. Tally-Ho was good. I mean, there's a lot of soft snow there now. It was a little bit pushed out. Bearing in mind, I went up at around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? So first thing in the morning, I'm sure it would have been pretty awesome. And I suspect tomorrow it'll be good as well. So yeah, I did shoot a little bit of filming from that. It was good. I've not done jalapeno or hot sauce since the Christmas video when it was nice and bluebird. It was good then. So yeah, but the chances are it's going to be good. See what tonight brings, because I'm just thinking now as we're talking about, it's saying tonight the wind's going to be northerly, so that's not doing what it normally does, which is blowing everything across into separate reality and North Pole. So I'm wondering how that might affect things tomorrow, but interesting. Matage, thanks for joining. I've been skiing on the other side of Jalapeno for the last 3 days and it's been epic. Awesome. If you're on the other side of Jalapeno, I'm guessing that's Montana, but there you go, guys. That's a live report exact from Jalapeno. So good to hear, mate. I no doubt we'll be going in there tomorrow. That's for sure. Appreciate you coming on and giving us an update there, mate. Thank you. Have we got anyone else who's currently at Revelstoke? Has anyone been doing any skiing? Where else have you found some good spots? Come share your secrets with us. Don't worry, we won't tell anyone. Top of South Bowl after the sub-peak hike has been great too. Yeah, I really enjoyed going off that over Christmas. What was it like up there today? Because I did see a couple of people hiking up that way, but again, like we were still having the kind of snow, so I was a bit surprised they opened it, but I know they were blasting above that area earlier in the morning, so they obviously deemed it safe. I just wonder what, if any, the visibility was like up at the top today. I would have loved, because there's a bit. Brad might take the kiddo skiing tomorrow for the first time. Oh, look at that. A boarder taking someone skiing. This is what I like to hear. Any tips for taking the youngster skiing? Have you ever watched that South Park episode with Thad, the super cool ski instructor? If you pizza when you French fry, you're gonna have a bad time. And if you French fry when you pizza, you're gonna have a bad time. Find a little mellow, run somewhere, bud, and just make sure he has a big smile on his face. I remember there's footage from mum and dad's, kids growing up somewhere of me learning to ski, and it's all very much like freaking out because you feel like you're slipping. But yeah, just I don't know. He'll be overtaking you on skis in no time, Brad. I'm sure of it. Also, in the areas you're going, like I know you said they're doing a lot of man-made snow. That's going to be kind of, I think, like pretty not, nice. Find a sort of a basic gradient area and just a little spot out the way and just get him sliding. Matage, I hope I pronounced that right, by the way, mate. Visibility was okay. It was a bit hard to see the contours of the snow, but it was basically trackless around 11 a.m. this morning. Nice. The car park was absolutely rammed when I came in at 2, so I'm sure everybody eventually came out, but yeah, if you were up there early, then good for you. But yeah, I thought that a little bit today as well. Like I had my clear vis, my see-through lenses on, and even I was kind of struggling to kind of make out some of the features on the snow. Would you say that Sweet Spot and Meet the Neighbors are the easiest ways to drop down into North Bowl, or are those runs still pretty gnarly? The entry to Meet the Neighbors, it can be a bit sketchy. It was a bit sketchy a couple of weeks back, just because a lot of people scrape through there, especially boarders, Brad. But yeah, and that kind of always makes it a little bit trickier for the skiers. Sweet spot. I might have to pull out the map up here because I don't think I've done Sweet Spot for a while. So I'm trying to visualize the entry to it. Bear with me here, guys. I know the one you're talking about. But I normally, if I go into North Bowl, I go in a little bit higher. I go in by drop-in. And I traverse across that. But yeah, Sweet Spot, I don't know. I don't know how that one is. But yeah, well, the last times I went in to Meet the Neighbors, it wasn't the easiest. It never really is, to be honest. I'm going to head up to Greeley Bowl tomorrow as well for my last day here. Matic, make sure you come back on and drop a comment in, even in this video after it's gone live, and just let us know what it's like. I went a little bit into Greeley Bowl around Christmas, but I don't know. I just don't really want to. I don't want to ride down that gully in the creek until it's a lot more filled out. The bowl was okay, although like I don't know if when I went in a few weeks ago, literally they'd sort of netted off the far right hand side of Greeley, where you've still got that risk from a lot of the avalanches coming in off that side. What I do want to do, I've not done yet, is Gracias Ridge, which is like in between Greeley and North Bowl. And that, I remember getting some awesome turns in there last year. And yeah, those were some of my best powder runs actually within that area were from Gracias Ridge last year. So I will be trying to do that over the coming days. Brad, I think I'm going to rent some skis too. I haven't skied in like 10 years. Nice, man. Go for it. You'll like it. I'm sure you'll like it. And then you can put the board away. You can get the board and like turn it into a bench or something. Is drop-in after the Lemming Line hike? Yeah, it is. It's Lemming Line is like that highest one. So you see a lot of people will just kind of like sidestep up a little bit and they'll maybe like traverse across, and those ones that go a little bit slightly up like that will go across to Meet the Neighbors or Sweet Spot. But then the ones who take the skis off and do a little bit of a hike, that is the one that takes you over to drop-in. And yeah, just all of those ones have that little bit of a sort of a narrow bend, and then as you come round, watch out for a bit of the rocks, and then you sort of ride it and traverse across how far you want to. But yeah, it's yeah, drop-in is the always. I try and get as high as possible. So, and then yeah, at Christmas I came in through Powder Assault off the sub peak, which really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to doing that again. Matage, maybe I'll check that Gracias Ridge out instead. I'll see how many times I want to do the hike. Yeah, it is a bit of a workout, that, isn't it? Especially those first few times. I try and do it more and more, just because then I think the lungs get used to it. But yeah, Gracias Ridge, it's a fun section, and from the bottom of there, as you come to the edge of Gracias Ridge, that's where you can then drop back in on the left into the main part of North Bowl, so you avoid the creek, which I would recommend right now. I'm hoping I would think Gracias Ridge could be real good tomorrow, so I might look out for you, Matic. I'll be in a navy camo dope jacket. Speaking of which, Oscar Schofield, thanks for joining, mate. What are your opinions on Montec? So I first, like about 2-3 years ago, I actually had Montec. I had a Montec jacket, and that I wore that through what did I do? I wore that through my season in Japan, and then I wore that, I think, for the first bit of Revi. And then I've actually been doing, I'm not sure how long you've been following the channel for, but I've been doing a little bit of video stuff with Dope. So I prefer Dope to Montec, especially the latest stuff they've brought out. So let me see if I can just grab my jacket. This is the new one I got for this year, and I've just absolutely fallen in love with this. The one thing I did this year is I actually went a size down from large. I went to medium, and yeah, I have a lot more comfort riding. Like before, I don't know, I've never been very good at the sizing side of things, but I'll still bring out the Montec if it's like a super, maybe like a wet day. Just because the fabric, actually, I've noticed in it now after a while has kind of worn away a little bit, but that's after 2 to 3 years of having it and wearing it on a daily basis. So I've got a couple of other different jackets as well, but they're all from Dope. I forget the names off the top here, but I've got a mixture of soft shells and a little bit more sort of snowboard style jackets. I do want to do a video this year reviewing that stuff. It's just taking the scheduling for it, but yeah, big fan of Dope. Big fan of all the stuff they are, and I love the community they have going within the people who actually have the brand. So Stephen, what skis do you use? In your vids it looks like QSTs, but I'm not sure what width. Yeah, I've got QST blanks. There's some old cat skiing skis I got at the start of last winter. So they've already had a bit of use. And yeah, QST blanks, they are 178 in size. Now width wise, ooh, that's a good point off the top of my head here. Hang on. I've always been a fan of Solomon, and yeah, when it comes to certain things, I like once you've tried something on and you know how it feels. Let me just have a look at this for you. So yeah, lengthwise, I got the 1/7/8, which had a 17 meter radius. I think widthwise, I'm gonna say, I think it's 1/3/8. I think I could be wrong there. My skis are in the car. Otherwise I would go and check, but they have now become my rock skis, Stephen, because of the start to last winter. So they're very, for me, they're a very stiff ski, which I found is great for riding in the powder. For me, what I've realized matters more and more for me personally is the turn radius. So I mean, I'm 5'8", so 1/7/8 centimeters is about sort of level, right? And then when I went heli skiing last winter with Selkirk, I rented a set of Dynastar M3 108s, which was sized 1/7/2, so a little shorter. And I really like that ski. So I actually bought a brand new set of last year's models of that same ski for this year. And I've ordered some Atomic Shift touring bindings that I want to put on those. I'm still waiting for those bindings to arrive, which I need to follow up on. But I do at some point want to be taking those out for a run. But yeah, I love the QSTs. They're my rock skis right now, but I'll give them a bit of a wax and a sharpen occasionally. And yeah, be planning to take those out over the next few days. Okay, what's the best way to get to the Gracias Ridge? Drop in at Powder Assault and keep right. I'll be on the lookout for you. If you came in off Powder Assault, I think you're already a little bit to the right, because from Powder Assault at the top, no, wait, hang on. Hang on. You're right. Sorry, Matic, you're right. Drop in at Powder Assault, and then you got to do the little narrow traverse round the side, which was quite sketchy a few weeks ago. I'm hoping that's widened out a little bit now. And there you go. You kind of go through that gate area, and then there's a bit of this leveled off area. And once you've gone through the narrow section, stick to the left, take the left section, and that's where the plateau is, and just ride straight down that. One or two of the areas, if you drop in on the left as it bends in and down back into North Bowl, some of those sections there store some incredible powder. I went in there once last year. It was probably sort of mid top of quad height. And yeah, I've not experienced anything like that before. Just in those little areas it sticks. So yeah, hold out for that. And yeah, I'll keep an eye out for you as well. Thanks for the question, Oscar. That was a good one, mate. Do you use Montec or do you use Dope? Like, what's your thoughts on the brands? Seems like quite a divisive topic, that. Every video I've made on those has had quite sort of a 50-50 split on the feedback on them, and I do plan on doing another video on that soon. So yeah, Matic, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Awesome, good stuff. Save some powder for me. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Got to convince the rest of my crew the hike out there would be worth it. Honestly, everything at Revelstoke, if it's worth having, it requires a hike, like a little bit of a traverse or a hike. You get used to it when you spend enough times over here. But Brad says, what ski brand should I buy? Ooh, good question. I mean, if you're getting back into it, Brad, like, I don't know, you want a sort of a good standard carver or an all mountain ski, don't you? I've not used a carver in so long now, but that's the type of ski predominantly you would use on a pisted run. Although I swear a lot of brands now just sort of make a slightly larger carving ski and make it an all mountain. But I had some really good Rossignols a few years back, which were Smash 7s, and I felt like lightning on them. But the best thing about them was just the grip that they had on the runs, even on an icy day. Yeah, you could probably get fine. And yeah, Rossignols, Fisher, Atomic are sort of your classic speedy carver type skis that you're going to have on mountain. If you're getting into more sort of I don't know, advanced, then you're looking at your other brands like your Solomons and your Solomons, your Zigzags, your oh gosh, what's the one that Candid Tovex uses? Oh, that's going to annoy me. What I would recommend, I mean, the thing is, if you're going to rent for the day, the chances are they're going to have a fleet there, Brad. So they'll have a fleet of skis, which they get in. And then at the end of the year, if you like that ski, normally they keep a ski within circulation 2 to 3 years within a rental shop, and then they try and offload it. So if you like a particular ski, then if you come back at the end of the ski, then the shop will probably be selling a version of it at a relatively affordable price. So like if you're just getting back into it, I wouldn't recommend buying a brand new ski. Definitely try and get a set of secondhand ones. And yeah, the rental ones should be relatively well looked after. Depends on what you like. I've been loving my Bent 110s. Stephen said Faction. Yeah, that's the one that Candid Tovex uses. The Factions never really kind of appealed to me, those. But yeah, that guy can ski. That guy is pretty crazy. I don't know. Solomon's just always, as a ski brand, like especially the skis have always stood out to me. And I think that's just because I spent a lot of time when I was sort of starting to get into video creation was watching Solomon Ski TV, although that's not a thing anymore, which sucks because that thing was amazing. I don't know. Like, yeah, I like the ski. The brand, though, now, Solomon, I don't know. I don't sort of kind of resonate with it as much anymore. You know, like I said before, I really like Dope from a clothing perspective. And yeah, like with a ski point of view, if it feels good underneath, I'll like it. I'm sure the rentals will probably suck. This is more once we get past tomorrow and if I buy some equipment. I used to ride Rossignols back in the day. I would love to have my same set of, like, if I could ever get a chance to buy those same ones again, I would. I mean, they were just, yeah. Yeah, you want a carving ski, and you know, from what you've told me, Brad, about skiing in you know, the Midwest and Michigan and all these areas, that, you know, there's not steeps and steeps of vertical, but you want something that can get you around the slopes, right? So it'd be a carving ski. Your Rossignols or Fishers probably will be the best bet. All right, guys. I think that is it for the evening. So we're going to wrap it up here. Just want to say big. Did you see the storm coming, though? Yeah, I do see the storm coming. It's been snowing on the top of the mountain all day. So I think we've had probably about 10, 15 centimeters over the last 24 hours. Looks like it's going to be a quiet one, I think, tomorrow, but then Monday, Tuesday looks big, like potentially 20 centimeters up to on Tuesday. So that's going to be huge. That's what we like. That's what we want. Yeah, buddy. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for this evening. I'm going to get a bit of shut-eye before a big day of riding tomorrow. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This has been loving the engagement tonight. Thanks from everyone who's joined. Make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're new to the channel. And yeah, if you're watching this after it's gone live, please leave a comment in the section below. But otherwise, see you on Tuesday, hopefully, for the vlog. Keep watching the shorts. Keep an eye on the community post. And I'll see you soon. Thanks very much, guys. See you in a bit.